Hello, my friends. My name is Adam. I don't know if you recognize me or not, but I'm trying to become the world's most prolific reviewer. And recently I had a bit of an accident and I broke a bone in my elbow. And I went to the hospital and got an x ray, and they said that it's broken and I need, to wait 2 weeks to see what happens. But I wrote to my boss and I said that I had an accident, and she was like, "Oh," because I didn't say anything else because it's a text early in the morning like, "Hey, I'm not working." And she's like, "Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry for you." And it's like, I literally fell on rollerblades. You can have a lot of accidents, lots of different kinds of accidents. But anyway, I'm going to talk today about the 1932 film called Hell's House. And I can't see the Wikipedia article. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's not from 1932, and it stars Junior Duncan, features Bette Davis, and it's directed by Howard Higgin. So basically, the story of Hell's House is there's this kid played by Junior Duncan, and he lives a life on the farm where he does chores, and his mother gets run over by a car. So his dad is dead, he doesn't have anybody to live with, so he goes to live with his aunt and his uncle. But when he gets there, he discovers that his uncle just lost his job because this is in the middle of the Depression. So they don't have a lot of money, and he says to, well, the aunt and the uncle, they have a boarder in their house, and the boarder is this sort of really slick talking guy. And he mentions that he can fix anything, like he has connections. And in the beginning, it's like maybe his connections aren't as big as he thinks they are. But anyway, the boy, the main character, asks him if he can have a job, if he can get some kind of job because he needs a job because his uncle doesn't have any money. And so he gets a job, and the job is basically to take care of the guy's house when he is um, not house, like take basically stay in a room that and wait for phone calls because this is where the guy does his business. And the lodger turns out to be a bootlegger, and there's a raid, and the lodger says, whatever you do, don't rat, don't say anything. If anybody comes, don't say anything. So basically, there's a raid, and the police arrest him, and he thinks that because this the bootlegger guy has connections, that he'll get out of it, but he doesn't get out of it. And because he doesn't say anything, they send him to an industrial school. And when they said that, I thought that it was like a trade school where you would learn trades and, graduate and be able to work. But no, it was literally a school where kids were working like in an industrial brick factory. So they were making the bricks and moving the bricks around. And what happens is the kid, he tries to get a message out to his bootlegger friend that he needs to be rescued, and the message is supposed to be delivered by one of his friends. His friends gets caught and basically gets sent to solitary as a 13 or 14-year-old boy. And this boy already had health problems. So the main character, he escapes the school, and he finds the bootlegger, and he's like, "Hey, you need to help this guy because he's gonna die if you don't get him any help," and they're not helping him. And so the bootlegger goes to this newspaper man, and they start to work on this story about this really crazy industrial school. And then the police come and basically say, the bootlegger confesses, and then the kid doesn't have to go to back to the school and he's free. And that's the end of the movie. And when the movie came out, there was a lot of praise for Junior Duncan and for Betty Davis's acting, and not so much for the actor who played the bootlegger. And let me see if I can find. Um, uh, uh, uh. Yeah, I think the bootlegger was played by Pat O'Brien, and the bootlegger's name was Matt Kelly. So yeah, there was a lot of praise for Davis and for Duncan, but I think that the actor playing the bootlegger character was actually the most interesting because there was lots of, he had some growth as a character. He grew, so the acting that he was required to do was a little bit more than just what Davis is doing. So Davis is just playing like a girlfriend, right? And she's maybe a bit concerned for the boy, but she's not that concerned for the boy. And Junior Duncan commits all of the sins that you would imagine a child actor to commit. And I don't think that there's this saying in Hollywood like don't work with children or animals, and the idea is that animals are unpredictable and children generally can't act because they're children. But I think it depends on the direction that you give the child, right? But I think in this one, Duncan is really expected to carry the movie, and he doesn't. So, yeah. And Duncan is an interesting character too, like as an actor, because he was kind of being groomed to be like a really big star. In Hollywood, he started out as a child actor, and he died, I think, a few years after this. And he was in a car with Billy Coogan and Billy Coogan's uncle. And Billy Coogan, if you don't know, was the actor who played the kid in the movie The Kid. And he is the reason that the first sort of child protection laws for actors in Hollywood were enacted, because I think his parents took most of his money, something like that. And he was paid a lot of money at the time for that role. So yeah, the movie is interesting from a historical point of view, but it's probably one of Betty Davis's weakest films, and it's not as bad. Like it's bad. Okay, let me take that back. I think it is as bad as The Man Who Came to Dinner, but they're bad for different ways. Because The Man Who Came to Dinner is really well produced. So this movie's not really well produced for the most part, not really well acted. So yeah, it's not a film that you need to go back to. So if you've seen the movie and you have a different point of view, maybe let me know in the comments what you think. If you've broken your elbow, give me some advice. What should I do? Yeah, and if you like my reviews, please like and subscribe to this channel on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, please follow on Spotify as well. All right, thank you everybody. Goodbye.